Hello everybody, welcome to Holocure submission for Fangame Marathon. This is the lore of the game. YouTubers happen, evil force turn the fans into bad guys, and we are trying to convert them back to regular people, or something like that. Yeah, this is Holocure. This is a Hololive / Vampire Survivor fan game. It's Vampire Survivor with Hololive sprites and references. So I did want to show off the settings that we'll be using before we start. Just not really to show off, just to show like what's going on. So there's a bunch of fandoms, which is the characters will start with all their skills maxed and some extra bonuses. There's a different one for each character, so you have to unlock it for everyone. And there's a shop where you can buy new characters and a bunch of upgrades. I have basically all the upgrades. There's a few that aren't actually in the shop that I don't have. Mainly to show off that I'm not suppressing any of these weapons or items. And you can turn items so you can unlock the weapons and in the armory and items, and you can turn them off so you don't run into them. I'm not doing that. They'll all be there. It is part of, I don't really know the meta of the game, but you can, if you know that this weapon is so bad I never want to take it, you can remove it, and then you'll never see it. I'm not doing that. It's just making it more random. Which is more fun in my opinion. So yeah, we are going to get started. It's also meta to reduce, I think it's meta to reduce your item slot, your weapon slot, so that you can just level up faster, but we'll get into that when we get into that. So there's, I believe, 47 characters. I am going to pick Gura. I'll get into a little bit more later of that, but and so this is the hardest stage. I'm not going to be doing a run of that because it's very easy to just die suddenly, and that's not fun for marathons. So I'm going to do the second hardest stages, and no support item. I can explain that later. Here we are, loaded up into the game. I'm doing an endless run. I hope I picked. So yeah, this is the level up screen. Every time you collect enough EXP, you level up so you can pick a weapon or item. I am going to Operation Pins. See it again. Very early, I'm looking for a couple different items. There's some that are time sensitive, so like they give you more EXP, and so the sooner you get them, the more EXP you get off of them. I'm not looking like we're seeing any. Keep a reroll in case I need it. Yeah, we didn't get it. So I'll just level up my main weapon. Yeah, let's explain this. So the skills that I mentioned, every character has their own set of skills. These whirlpools you see, that's a Gura only thing. Whirlpools will draw enemies into them. They'll take more damage. Well, they'll damage them just for being in there. They'll take more damage if they get hit by other attacks. It's very strong. Just gonna keep leveling up my main weapon. You might see like bite marks on the enemies every once in a while. That's a skill that will have a slight chance of healing me, and deals a little bit more extra damage. And then sometimes when I get hit, about a third of the time actually, Gura has a skill. Gura has a skill that makes her get extra speed. Like, see this? It's extra speed, and I'm invincible for half a second. So Gura is very slippery in this game. Take Blacksmith's Spear early. So every once in a while an anvil will show up. This item I just grabbed will make it so I can use the anvil twice. It's a very strong thing to get. Just like helps you scale into the late game a little better. I'm gonna take pickup range early. So yeah. Normally you have to level up your skills, but because I have the highest fandom, you just start with them all leveled up. So like they won't even show up on this menu to show you what they are. So I just wanted to explain them so you know what's going on in the background and why the enemies are stuck in these whirlpools. I keep leveling up my main weapon. Your main weapon's pretty strong. You usually want to level it up pretty fast. Some characters actually have pretty weak main weapons. Those characters you don't. Okay, that was my special. Every once in a while this meter fills up and you get a special. I'm gonna take and Gur special deals like 500% damage and gives you an attack and speed buff for a little bit, so it's just very good. You want to use it often. This is a stamp. This will affect your main weapon only, and it does a bunch of them, and they do different effects. This is going to make a trumpet sound play. Trumpet's a fun one. Not going to have this on the whole run. It gets old, but fun to have a little bit of a trumpet sound going. So what am I doing? I'm doing endless mode. So this game, the main game lasts for 20 minutes. That's mainly what I'm trying to do. Endless just means when you beat the final boss at the 20-minute mark, the boss shows up. When you beat the final boss, the game ends. Endless means it doesn't end after you beat the final boss. You get to keep going. Oh, I played the trumpet during this. That's hilarious. So what separates this from a regular run is that I just get to keep playing. I believe on the current leaderboards, the top run goes to like 43 minutes. I'm hoping to get to like 35. Ooh, Holu. So Holu is not a very marathon safe item, but if you get it early enough, it can actually help you. It makes the enemies stronger and makes more of them show up, but the more enemies that show up, the more you can kill, the more EXP you can get. I'm gonna risk it here. Might not do it in the actual event. But this is gonna mean there's gonna be more enemies, more opportunities, I like to think of it as. The controls of this game are pretty simple. You move with WASD and you aim with the mouse. So some attacks kind of just fire on their own. You don't have to aim them, but take the cutting board. There's a couple little Easter eggs. I mean, they're explained in the game, but cutting board. Some characters have a buff on cutting board. Gur is one of them. There's another item, bouncing ball, that gives a different kind of buff to a different kind of character. It's nice because it makes it matter which character you're using. It's not like, you know, there's with like 40 some odd characters, there ought to be differences. And this game is made by one solo dev. His name is KU, or screen name maybe. And did a good job making it very unique. All the different characters. There's a ton of content. Dev intends to go up to 80 some odd characters. And this game is completely free. It's just a ton of free content. Don't know why. Don't know why they want to do it all free, but congrats to us for getting it. X potato. So, ooh, I died. Alright, so probably not a good idea to take Holu. Alright, let's start the commentary over. Should I just restart the stream for this? I can let's see. Alright, hello everybody, welcome to my Holocure fan game marathon submission. This is Holocure, Save the Fans. The lore of this game is something like an evil force made Hololive fans into bad guys, and we have to save them. So we're just gonna play a Vampire Survivor-esque game, and the enemies will all be, you know, different fandom representations, like shrimps, teammates, deadbeats, etc. I'm going to show off a couple things before we start, because this game has what's known as a meta progression system, so things you unlock will affect future runs. It's sort of part of the game. So there's a bunch of fandoms. The more you play with the character, the more you level them up. Like some of them I haven't fully leveled up yet. And this is going to give us a bunch of skills. So each character has a different set of skills, and some buffs, I guess. I'll explain the skills when we get into it, but just know that, like, the first time you play, you will not be as OP as I am. There's a bunch of fan letters. They give you like a bunch of slight buffs. I don't have them all. And there's a shop where you can buy the new characters, a bunch of upgrades. I've got all the shop upgrades. There's a bunch of debuff upgrades. I'm not using any of those, though sometimes limiting your weapons or items means you can get to the late game faster. So I believe it is meta to actually do this. I'm not doing that, just having the most stuff. And mainly showing that off to show you what settings I'm using. There's a bunch of other things that you can unlock in Hollow House that I haven't gotten, so it's not like I have everything, but I'm starting off pretty far ahead. We're going to do an endless mode run. So this is the hardest stage. We're not going to be doing that because it is a bit too hard. It's very easy to die suddenly. There's like a lightning bolt stage event that happens basically all the time, and it can one-shot you, or close to one-shot you. If you're taking any damage, it will kill you from there. So yeah, we're going to do the second hardest stage, and no support item. Maybe I'll try one between now and the marathon. I don't know. We're just going to do this, and let's just get into it. We've spent a lot of time not getting into it. Alright, so this is the level up screen. Every time you level up, you can pick between 4 different things. I'm going to eliminate limiter because I never want to see it again. In the settings, you can actually remove things. I haven't removed anything just because I want, the more stuff there is, the more random it is. And I think that's fun. And if you don't like any of the items, you can re-roll. I'm going to be re-rolling pretty often early because I'm looking for study glasses. So this will give me extra EXP. And this hold will make it show up again next time. So I want certain items like study glasses are better to get early because, you know, I'll get extra EXP for the whole game rather than just okay, this is a box. It'll give you a random item, and you can take it or not. I'm gonna take it because why not? Free weapons are good. This is a stamp. This is a thing you can unlock. This will only affect your main weapon. This one is a trumpet. It's just gonna add a trumpet sound effect. Okay, here's a level up. We got study glasses. I'm just gonna keep using my holds on study glasses because I want more EXP. Oh, see these whirlpools? Those are the skills I mentioned. One of Gur's is whirlpool. It will make these whirlpools appear. Enemies will get sucked into them. They'll take more damage, and they'll just take passive damage just for being in it, but also other damage will be multiplied. It's one of Gur's strongest effects. This is my special. Kind of tough to see it there. A shark appeared, dealt a bunch of damage, and I'm red Gura now. So it's like a pretty short time period, but I'll get extra damage and speed. The controls of this game are very simple. You move with WASD and you aim with mouse. For the most part, it is just kind of movement and managing your level ups. There's not a ton of like complexity to the game. It's definitely more than Vampire Survivors, which is notably not complex on purpose. I'm gonna take membership. So membership, very strong item, but it costs money to use. But in the higher stages, you just will always have enough money. It's definitely one of the better ones to get. Not one that you want particularly early, but it's a good enough one that I'm going to take it. I'm going to eliminate Devil Hat. I'm going to keep searching. So there's a couple more items like study glasses that are better the earlier you get them. Just shopping around. So credit card will make more anvils appear. That's good to get early, but not the best one. Alright. I was looking for Raven Feather, but didn't get it. That's fine. Alright. I just got like a speed boost there. One of Gur's abilities is short stature. Whenever you get hit, there's like a 35% chance you just dodge it and gain invincibility and speed. That makes Gur very, very tanky. This is a stage event. At the same, minute 15 or whatever, every time the stage plays, a bunch of those bombs will show up and just march across the screen. There's a bunch of different little stage events, so the enemies aren't all the same. Some of them will, for the most part, it's the Vampire Survivor thing where the enemies just like homing on your position, and the only difference is the sprites. But there are in-game events that give you slightly different enemies. These red things are Danmaku indicators, so this game actually has a little bit of bullet spray. I'm going to eliminate this. So this item makes enemies stronger and makes more of them show up. It can be good if you can use extra enemies for EXP, but I'm just going to get rid of it. Get rid of the temptation to use it, because it's a very, very good way to die, especially on the very harder levels. Oh, I should maybe explain some of that. So I mentioned the meta progression system. Part of the game design is very, it's Euro shmuppy. Maybe you guys don't know what that means. Basically, the higher levels are literally impossible until you've done some of the meta progression and leveled up your character. So I'm not using them to get an unfair advantage, or if I reduce my character to starting, I would not be able to do this. I would. Alright, I'll take the sake. So that's gonna give me extra crit. And most items have a couple levels you can put into them, and all weapons have up to 7 levels. So usually you want the first of good items, so they show up more often in the every time you level up, it'll show up. Not every time, but it's much more likely to show up if you have one, and eventually it'll have to give it to you. So if I had all my weapon slots filled, I wouldn't get any weapons except the ones I already had. So it's much, if you want a weapon, you have to take the first one. Get rid of Corporation Pain is not good. If you want more weapons, you can just keep the slots open. If you want to just get the same ones over and over, you can just take different ones. I will mention a slight flashing light warning on this game. It doesn't look like much now, but since I have 6 weapons on, I will eventually get all 6 weapons going, and that is a lot of stuff that's going to be on the screen because of that. Flashing lights is a thing that you have to avoid. You'll start to notice as the game goes on that much more stuff is happening. This is a super fan. I believe it's called Otaku in the game. They do different things. So I believe the red one makes like all the enemies stronger. I think the green one heals them, and the blue one slows you down. Ooh, the green stamp. So I've heard enough trumpet. So you can level up your stamps by putting other stamps into them. So the green stamp's just going to give me more coins. Probably not the one I'm going to end the run with, but it's a good way to get my score up a little bit early on while I wait for better survival stamps. You might have noticed I'm avoiding these anvils. So, see how these weapons have blue text? That's an enchantment. Some weapons come pre-enchanted. That's how I got these. Anvils will let you upgrade a level on any weapon or item you have, or enchant a weapon. Take that. So like this, I can just upgrade the sake or whatever. But when I get to level 7, it'll give me the option to just add more damage to my weapons. So as the game goes on, that's why like anvils are the credit card that will give me more anvils is good. It's because oh, Raven Feather, I want this. Even late game when your weapons are all fully leveled up. Here's a blue guy, by the way. It's slowing me down. So even when you're fully leveled up, you can still upgrade your weapons to just deal more base damage. It's pretty strong. Oh, and that was... So the big enemies are bosses. I don't know if I mentioned that. Ooh, and this is the late game. So these orange ones, when everything is full and you just can't get more weapon items and stuff, it'll have to give you these like late game things that just are pretty strong buffs. So all my weapons will shoot faster. So in this game, you don't control when you shoot. It just I'm gonna take my main weapon. It just happens on like a set interval, so you can just up that interval. So just all your weapons are just gonna start, going really fast if you get enough into that. That's why people limit their weapon slots, is so they just hit the orange things faster. So yeah, that is one thing to look out for. We're getting close to the 5-minute mark, doing pretty okay. Gonna get this. So cake will, I believe it, slows targets, has a chance to. And the stamps only affect your main weapon. There's a couple that do other things, but for the most part, just assume they only affect your main weapon. I haven't really been leveling up my main weapon. Probably should work on that. The main weapon's very strong for Gura. Most characters, their main weapon's very strong. You want to level it up pretty fast. For the other items, for the other weapons, you can collab your weapons. So when you get them to level 7, when you have 2 weapons at level 7, if they're the right weapons, you can combine them to make like a stronger weapon, and it will free up a weapon slot. For instance, I have Axe. If I take BL books, I will get unlimited BL works. I think that's well, some of them have super collabs. So when you get the BL book Axe collab, if you have Hope Soda as well, you can super collab it later. So I might do that. I already have Sake, which is a super collab on its own. I kind of want to get rid of Gorilla. Gorilla Paw is another item that does a super collab, but It reduces your crit percent, and sake increases your crit percent, so like we're kind of going for a crit matters build. Yeah, all these different weapons and items do different things, and they have different synergies and dis-synergies. So for instance, Ninja Headband, good with Gura because her main weapon is a melee weapon. So it'll just give me extra speed and extra damage on my main weapon. My other two weapons aren't melee, so it's like not as good with my current build. See this fist? That means melee. So I'm not sure I want to commit to Ninja Headband. And by commit, so there's only 6 weapon slots and 6 item slots. If I take the Ninja Headband, I lose, I can't take something else. There's an opportunity cost there. Like, it is good. Solo stand is fine right now. It is good, but like, it could be better if I hold out. Is I guess what I'm getting at. Take range up. So Researcher's Coat's another one that I want pretty early. It gets extra EXP just for existing. Though we're 6 minutes in, it could pay off, but not gonna go for it now. So, Candy Kingdom Sweets is a weird one. It makes your attacks weaker, but it makes the haste up, so they hit more often. So that's good with certain weapons, certain skills. So like if you have a lot of crit, it'll just give you more chances to crit because you're attacking fast. And right now it's at level 1. If I can get it to level 3, it kind of basically undoes its effect of minimizing of doing less damage. Like it'll have an RNG chance to just deal basically the same amount of damage. So it's not the worst. I'm gonna eliminate this. This deals damage to me every second, 5% HP. So that's just a good way to die. It gives you a huge attack buff, but it kind of puts you into you very easily at 1 HP. That's a golden anvil, so that's how I collab. I don't want to do the axe idle song collab. I'm just gonna save that anvil for those weapons for something else. Interesting to note. So see those enemies disappeared. The stage event enemies usually are much tankier. They're much harder to kill, but they drop EXP all the same. So sometimes you want to just kill every stage event enemy because they're just going to go away. And there's a chance to get extra EXP by killing them. It's like most of the enemies don't go away. They just like charge at you till you kill them. So the EXP is pretty static. I'm going to take whammy water. But the stage events are one way to get a little bit more EXP out of the game. These drops will disappear after a long enough time. Typically on this stage, so like I can show you this whole stage right now. It's a very small stage. It's like the pews, a couple things in the corner, and then the main part. We're basically just gonna stay in the main part. Like if you run around a bunch, you'll leave. Enemies will die in different places, and then it's gonna be tougher to grab their EXP. We are just kind of trying to keep all the enemies in one spot. There's actually an achievement for not moving at all, just beating the game standing still. That is interesting, but interesting to play, not necessarily to watch. Beetle's pretty good with Gura, but that's our last item slot. We can do the collab with Sake. I guess I'll commit to that. Beetle makes your skill damage go up. So like the whirlpools, the shark bites, I believe your special as well. grab this box. Alright, so all our slots are filled. We can get more if we collab. So I need to use this sake for the snow sake collab. This is one of the stage events. All these enemies show up and shoot Maku at me. So we're going to be looking for glow stick. Probably have to take glow stick over any other item. Kill these guys before they disappear. Super collabs aren't the end-all be-all, but definitely better than regular weapons. So our final form of our trident, probably should have got that faster. For some characters it gives you like a special ability that only happens there. It's like some levels are better than others. Like some items you're like, oh, I have to get this to level 5 before it does the thing that I want it to do. And others you can kind of just get at your leisure. Kind of want potato. So different collabs are different value. I guess I can show off enchant. So this potato wasn't enchanted. I'm gonna enchant it. Get a size. So now the potatoes are all bigger. That will be important later. So yeah, one of the collabs you can get is Rap Dog. It uses X Potato. Oh, glow stick. I mentioned glow stick. Almost didn't take it, so I mentioned glow stick. Yeah, which takes potato and music note, which I took music note pretty early with partially because it was free, but also that in mind. So that's one of the strongest attacks for large groups of enemies. Oh. Anyway, here's the mid-boss. I believe this is Shubangelion and Achama Spider. I don't know if she has a name. So they're just gonna be pretty strong. They're strong enemies. These red things let you know an attack's coming, so just gotta get out of the way. We killed Shubangelion. Got a bunch of EXP, a box. Kill Hachima. Good. Alright, so now we're past the midway point, and you're gonna start to notice the enemies change. So these early game enemies are for Japanese Gen 1 and 2, I believe. Or maybe it's 0 and 1. Not exactly sure how they count them. But eventually we're going to start seeing myth enemies. So here's the shrimps. You might notice that the music is playing is Myth or Treat. Keep that as a little spoiler, little thing to intrigue you. Keep that in the back of your mind. Take haste up, why not? Alright, I do have all my weapon slots filled, so I probably should start using these anvils as anvils, but kind of haven't needed to yet, so it's kind of it'll be better later, and I really just want to focus on the late game. What else is there? Oh, I think I wanted to mention and I'll put this in my submission. Right now I'm playing as Gura. I could offer to do this as like a I know that you guys don't have like donation incentives or anything, but I could do like a poll in Fangame Marathon or something chat where like the chat will pick which character I use, or maybe I could limit it to a few different character choices. That way I can make sure I have, you know, full fandom for all of them. I cannot guarantee I will have for all 47 characters by the time the event starts, but I'll be working on it. But if I have like, you know, 5 pretty popular characters, wouldn't be hard to get something like that. But I thought it would be safer to submit it as I'm playing as Gura. And also, like, if for the marathon, you don't want me to do an endless run. So like endless the normal game goes to 20 minutes, and endless just means you get to keep playing. So a 20-minute main game run takes about 30 minutes with menuing and thinking a little bit during the level ups. I think I've got like basically an hour for endless, which could end slightly early, but I expect to die at, you know, 35-minute mark-ish, about when it gets really hard. Because the game is basically designed to kill you off after the 20-minute mark. And like I say, the top of the leaderboard right now, it probably just, you know, has full meta strats and is using fully juiced account. Gets to 43 minutes. We're not going to go that far over time. And as the levels get higher, there's less thinking in the menus, so yeah, there are a couple options. I'll put them all in my submission, but play with different characters, or you know, a slightly shorter mode if it's just easier for scheduling. Alright, anyway, we are approaching, so we have level 7 for Glowstick and Whammy Water, so I'm going to combine them. And this will give us Sake, Snowflower Sake. So we're over level 50, which means we get this anvil. Which means now we can get a super collab. So here we got a gold anvil, so we can combine Snowflower Sake with the sake, and it's going to give us Snow Queen. So it's gonna, you know, be dealing constant damage to everything, increase crit chance, freeze everything. Pretty good. So we have 2 enchants on this. Basically, if both of your weapons are enchanted and you collab them, the collabed item will have both enchants. Bomb. Work with. Not really with anything I have. Big potato. That's what I wanted. So yeah, once you've made a collab, if something's enchanted and you try to enchant it again, it will just change the enchantment. So sometimes, you know, you're like, oh, my crit. Sometimes you take an item that lowers your crit. I got rid of it for this run, but and your enchants give you like crit damage up. Well, you're not going to get any crit damage with like 1% crit. So it's like you'd rather change the enchantment. You know, some weapons do more or less with different enchants. Sometimes it pays off to change them. I haven't really done that. Not really getting good stamps, so I'm just going to keep these stamps around until we get a good one. So yeah, there are reasons to change your enchant, but for the most part you just want 2 enchants before you combine, before you collab your weapons so they get the double buff. And another thing, so I mentioned Ninja Headband gives plus to melee weapons. So if I combine Sausage, which is melee, and Plug type, which isn't, the combined weapon will be both, so it will get the buff for being a melee weapon. So that's a good way to get more melee weapons at the end, for instance. That being said, I think I want this. It's enchanted. And at this point in the game, most of the weapons that you pick up don't really do a ton, but when you put a couple levels into them, they'll start to have an effect. And you're mostly just going for different super collabs at this point. This is gonna make Rap Dog. I keep forgetting that the anvil's already out. So Rap Dog is one of the best at dealing a ton of damage to large groups of enemies, which is just all this is at the end. It's just there's gonna be a ton of enemies on the screen at all times. So it scales pretty well into the late game. For the most part, I've played this game without like looking into strats or whatever, but you hear some things. People come into chat and tell you things, so it's not like I'm completely on my own. But, like I haven't like looked up the super meta strats or anything. This is not like super representative of, you know, high level gameplay or whatever, but just mainly showing off the game. There is like a time mode, but it's like potentially very short, and it doesn't feel like it shows off the game or shows off enough stuff. That was an item magnet. That gathers all the EXP on the screen on the level, not even just on the screen. I was supposed to take Lava Bucket there to combine with Axe. Just wasn't paying attention. Oh my goodness. Yeah, so this is the epilepsy warning that I mentioned. As the game gets later, more stuff is happening all the time, and it's not really that bad, but it'll get, you know, progressively worse. Good thing to note, for a study glasses run, we're only at level 60 at the 18-minute mark. We're pretty low level, all things considered. Not exactly sure. Maybe I'm just used to having Holu and study glasses and Researcher's Coat, which gives you just even more levels, but alright, I could do something that combines with Asakoko. Fanbeam would work. I don't really like that one, so I guess I'll just let's try to hold off. So Chicken's Feather would have given me a revive. Revives are cool, but they're not great. Like, you just need to keep up your DPS. Like, once we get to the 30-minute mark, it doesn't matter how many times you revive, like they'll just kill you immediately again. The Yagoo Swarm is inevitable. Revives are fine, it's just not what we need right now. Bomb would work with Asakoko, so I guess I'll take that. And I can enchant Bomb. I should probably start just using these anvils as upgrades. So my Snow Sake is something I want to upgrade, so let's just do that. This will just give more damage to it. And like I say, this is constantly dealing damage to everything and slowing it down, so it's just like probably where I want to put some of my stats. Might be worth it to keep an anvil or two around. In case we get something we want to enchant later, but this is fine. Focus shades or super chat time. I feel like items do more effect early on than weapons. Like, I feel like items are very strong, so you want to like get a bunch of items, then work on your weapons. But I'm kind of picky about this last item slot because it's the last item I'll get all game. Here we are approaching the 20-minute mark. The game is doing everything it can to try and kill me. Bullet hell. Large groups of enemies. Oops, soda actually ain't bad. Like I say, we have a ton of stuff into crit, and I think GWS pill might be better. Yeah. Oh, that's a big bomb. Alright, now we're at the 20-minute mark. Here's the boss. It is Ian Myth. Kind of alluded to it before. All the girls. All 5 of them. So my main strat with this boss is to run away. Kiara is much faster than the others in general, so she will likely be the first one to die for running into me. But I believe both Gura and Ame can like teleport, so sometimes they get out and just die. But yeah. Once I kill a couple of them, I can maybe approach the others, but it's very easy way to die is to just like try to go toe to toe with them, and then all 5 of them show up, and it's just like, well, I'm dead. And they drop these boxes, same as most bosses. It is so tempting to run in and grab the box, but you have to make sure you keep your distance. One of the easiest ways to die is to just be near a boss for too long. Okay. I don't want to increase my grab range anymore. Take a crit up. So now we're at the late game. Past the boss. I guess Ame is still on the screen. For the most part. Ooh, a triple. Usually you get more triples than this. Now, the first one we got was 21 minutes in. Ooh, and a super. So I believe the boxes have a 10% chance to give you a super item. Doesn't feel like it. It feels like much less. So this will give me even more EXP and give me more of the rainbow drops. Would have been much better to get early on, because you don't have to level up super items. Gonna combine these. Breathe-in type Asakoko. So yeah, that would have saved me 5 levels worth of upgrades on my study glasses, but honestly, can't complain whenever you get a super item. It'll just help us scale into the, like, we'd probably be at level like 80 or something if we got that earlier. You know, we just would have gotten so much more EXP. But it's fine. Like, you're not supposed to get them really ever, so can't complain. All these stamps are not the ones I want. Like, I believe this solo stamp is doing absolutely nothing. I guess I'll use it rather than, but I'm not gonna invest into this size up stamp. This will make my main weapon bigger. See how my trident, maybe you can't really see what my trident is doing during all this chaos, but it got bigger, and I could put more into it to make it even bigger. But all right, so I'm gonna take this lava bucket to go with my axe. I believe that's the best option of those. The books would have also worked with the axe. Axe lava bucket's gonna make a bunch of comets show up that'll leave these like lava pools. Deal lots of damage to large groups of enemies. Oh, so I just picked up an eel. I've been picking up like random planks of wood and food and fish. There's a different mode of this game called Hollow House. There's like a farming aspect. And you can collect stuff for it in this mode. So if you don't want to do the farming stuff, you can eventually get enough items to just not have to do it. Very slowly, but the farming aspect is not really the fun part, so I don't mind. I don't mind that you can get any amount of materials during this. If we have time, I'll show that off. Like, I'm gonna be submitting for an hour, I believe. So like if I die the 30-minute mark instead of the 35-minute mark, I'll have some time, and we can either speed up, get some time lost in the marathon back, or I can show off Hollow House and what it has to offer. It's like the game's lagging a little bit. Hopefully that doesn't take too much time. But yeah, as the game has been on for a bit, it starts to lag. I might have just needed to reboot my computer before starting. Usually doesn't get this way unless I've had my computer on for a while. Yeah, so now we're seeing, I think these are all bosses, like they're all just big enemies, so all the bosses that we fought, those are just regular enemies now. Like at the 30-minute mark, we're gonna start seeing Yagoo. Still looking for good stamps. Have not enchanted my lava. Alright, size is a good one, because that means when we level this up fully, the Super Collab will have a much bigger area of effect, and that's how you defeat large groups of enemies. So I will sort of admit a couple things here. I'm not a super big Hololive fan, kind of a fake fan over here. I listen to some karaoke, watch the clips. I don't watch a ton of Holo members live. But that being said, this game is still very enjoyable even if you only know the basic Hololive memes. So if you're thinking about playing the game and you're like, oh, I'm not really a Hololive fan, probably wouldn't get a ton out of it. It's still just a great game, even if you don't know anything about the fandom. Like I said, there's like 47 characters right now. The dev wants to go up to 81. Like, there's just a ton of content, and the game is free. I haven't played Vampire Survivors the original, but I don't feel like I need to, because this game, just has more complexity, more content, and is free. Or so I've been told. Like I said, I haven't actually played it. Ooh. So this stamp doesn't do anything, but it makes us upside down. In an old patch, it made you shoot backwards, which I think they got rid of it because it was kind of annoying. That being said, not super big fan of being upside down, so I'm going to swap back. You can always swap back. So we've got our final fourth super collab, or fourth collab. So we're gonna have one spot open for one more weapon, and then the rest will be late game stuff. I'm hoping I can get Ian Curse. So all the weapons, do different things. Curse has a chance to spread to enemies touching the hit enemy. So with large, these large groups of enemies, I'm eliminate things. Still haven't gotten it. I can avoid taking a thing that I don't want. Yeah, with large enemies, the curse spreading is probably one of the higher damaging solo weapons you can get. But even after we have all our collabs, there's still like some art and artistry to what our last weapon is gonna be. Actually eliminate things I don't want. Make it more likely to get things like that. We should have been doing that. Probably gonna take Curse over anything if I see it, but I would like rather haste ups and damage ups than basically anything. At this point, I just want to make all my weapons stronger. I don't need... The Curse will be nice. Like, the only reason I'm going to take it is because I might be forced to take a worse item. Like, yeah, I have to take a worse weapon now. I'll take Fan Beam. I'm already sort of aiming with Gura, and the knockback will be good against Yagu's spam. And it's pre-enchanted. Helps a little bit, I guess. Though it doesn't really matter at this point. I believe I do have an anvil around. Crit up. Probably have gotten enough use out of this money stamp. I should probably switch to something else. I don't know if I really want the crit up as my final set of stamps, but it's worth leveling up for now. We have been taking a little bit of damage here and there, which means we're not killing the enemies as fast as I'd like to. But eventually the game will decide that you've lived too long, and basically it doesn't matter what you do. Oh, there's been cheeseburgers on the ground. I don't know if I've mentioned those. There's food in the game that restores your health. One of Gura's skills, Shark Bite, gives you more health, so it's not like all damage is permanent or anything. And one of the things you can buy from the shop is passive HP gain. It really doesn't amount to much. So here's the Yagus, the beginning of the end, we'll call it. Actually just gonna get rid of that stamp and get the knockback stamp. So now my main weapon will add knockback. So we're just basically gonna be trying to run away from the Yagus while keeping them from being able to pursue us. Knockback's pretty good. It keeps them from sort of staying flocked together. That's another reason why the snow sake is good, is because it freezes them. So they, you know, can't really gang up on us as much. All my weapons are still unupgraded. Normally I'm supposed to have put more upgrades on them, but I just have saved all my anvils and still haven't gotten that many. We're doing fine, but gotta get my complaints equity in while it's there. Kinda getting close. Eventually we will get 100% crit, which is as much as we need. Sip of water. So yeah, our attack is already doing 300% damage, and we're just going to take as much as we can. Eventually, these Yagus will turn golden. I doubt we'll get that far. I don't think this build has been good enough to get there, but and an easy way to die is to get caught on like a table or something, not realizing that it's barring your way. I guess a big part of how this end is going to go is, Gur has like a 35% chance to just dodge an attack and gain invincibility. If we get those at the right times, we can survive for a long time. But if they're not forthcoming, rather slow than... So this gives me extra weapon damage, but I think I'd rather slow the enemies than... and get some weapon damage than just get weapon damage. I should maybe have flower. Okay. I think I like flower. So flower weakens defense and attack temporarily, so that's a way to make our other weapons deal damage because of the stamp, just by lowering defense, and then our other weapons will. Is that a fan letter? How am I gonna get that fan letter? Oh my goodness. Might not have been. I don't have a Yagu. No, it's probably just an anvil. Where's pepper? This max HP is really helpful. Alright, so our fan beam is max, so it's shooting in both directions. That's a little bit helpful. Getting a ton of fish. the valuable things about these late game runs. You just have a lot of enemies, so they drop a lot of stuff. Oh, I am stuck on something. And the more enemies, the tougher it is to see the stuff on the in the background, so you're gonna get caught more often. I think at the 35-minute mark. I do need more speed, just in general. It's always easy to misevaluate Gur's speed, just because she gets the speed buff when she activates her ability. Should have taken that stamp. Definitely need more stamp. Just accidentally went around it. Okay. Actually, strengthen flower first. It is very rare to be at 35 minutes and not have 3 stamps that are all leveled up. So, like, we've done really poorly on stamp RNG. For the most part. Ooh. The bat will, maybe heal us. I don't know if that's better than what I've got. I just don't think healing is what I want. It's like, eventually these things will just kind of kill you in one shot. I don't think healing's where it's at. I kinda just wanted to take haste up. Felt like I needed speed. I've been avoiding speed. Oh, shit. But you can't really have too much haste up. Like, the more often your weapon shoots, just the better, you know? Like here I could take more crit or more speed. Like that's when I should pick up my speed. But there is still artistry to this. Even at the end where it's just like, I'll take the better thing. Better how? There's still things I have to learn about this game. For those of you who don't know who this face is, this is Yagu, the CEO of Hololive. Yagu's hopes and dreams. Oh, the stamp. So this makes the other, better stamp show up. Getting it 36 minutes in is pretty useless. I've already seen a lot of stamps. And I just don't think I can afford to. Like, I will lose one of my weapons effects if I put that on, so it'll make better things show up faster, but I will probably just die if I'm not firing on all cylinders. Dude, I got stuck behind a dude. A cheeseburger. Okay, so we've died and we are using our revive. So our Raven Feather was giving us a buff every minute that we had it, which is very good into the late game. But we don't have that anymore, but we got to revive. So yeah, 36 minutes, almost 37. This is my high score, so I'll submit it. 58th. And like I said, this is, 36 minutes in. First place only gets to 43. Though they might have gotten more points. Like there might be a farther time they got more points some other way. Or less points. So yeah, pretty good. So So yeah, this has been Holocure. Guess I'll show off Hollow House. Like, depending on how long the run goes, this might not be something I show off in the marathon, but if we have time, I'll show it off. Fishing mini game. To play some rhythm game type deal. Some fish. You can plant stuff. These guys will get you money, which will get you more stuff. There's mining and wood cutting. Depending on how much time I'll have, I'll show off more of the stuff. There's a Jump King game that I don't really know how to play. I'll have to learn this eventually. Oh, and there's food, so you can take the food to put in the cauldron to cook, like make a fancy food, or you can craft things. That's a support item that I didn't use. And there's a casino where you can just gamble, play some blackjack, slots. There's a math game. There's like racing and fighting you can bet on. Tons of stuff. Tons of content. Buy materials here. There's prizes. These are the things that I don't have unlocked. They are very expensive. So yeah. This has been Holocure. Thanks for watching and considering for the marathon.